The atmosphere turns into a literal nightmare as the level 6 elite monster, Cheed Mamba, crawls out of the hellscape to avenge its kids. Imagine being a parent and your first instinct is to murder a whole restaurant. Total psycho behavior.
The system is basically screaming at our guy to run because this thing usually takes 20 pros to kill.
But since he is the main character, common sense is clearly optional today.
Everyone else is busy having a bad trip, because the worm blood is triggering mass hallucinations.
It is a mental fog so thick you could cut it with a knife, and the bystanders are failing the vibe check hard.
Hyunmyeong realizes that if he does not stop being a spectator, everyone is going to end up as monster snacks.
He decides it is time to stop hiding and start carrying before the body count starts rising. Using the thick environmental fog as the perfect "don't look at me" cover, he flips the switch and transforms into his legendary avatar, Randolph.
Goodbye Average Joe, hello Absolute Unit ready to wreck some shop.
Even with the legendary power-up, he remains sharp and focused. He knows this boss is a total beast and acknowledges that even with his current buffs, one wrong move could turn him into minced meat. He starts dancing around the monster strikes like it is a rhythm game on easy mode.
He is utilizing his game knowledge to predict every single move before the monster even thinks about it.
The Cheed Mamba is growing increasingly frustrated because this human is moving with physical abilities that should be impossible for his level. It is like trying to swat a fly that can see the future.
With expert timing, he evades the lethal blood spatter ability.
He knows that even a single drop of that nasty liquid would inflict a debilitating status ailment and ruin his whole day. Realizing he needs even more juice to end this quickly, he accesses his inventory like he is shopping for a miracle. He pulls out the legendary Fairy Queen's Tear because it is time to bypass the level cap. He successfully equips the epic grade Hermes' shoes. These are not just fancy footwear, they allow him to tap into the speed of the gods and move as fast as the wind itself. He does not stop there and layers on the Michaela's armor and helmet. This triggers the powerful Celestial Dragonborn set bonus, making him look like a walking raid boss himself. The Fairy Queen's Tear proves its worth by reducing the high stat requirements of his gear by 20%. It is the ultimate cheat code that makes this legendary loadout viable at his low level. The Cheed Mamba lashes out with its final skill pattern, attempting to drown the entire area in a thick cloud of poisonous fog. It is a desperate move from a boss that is clearly out of options. Hyunmyeong counters the stinky cloud by triggering a massive gale. It is a synergy effect between his swiftness and set options that literally blows the poison away like it is yesterday's trash.
He has already identified the monster's 4 distinct patterns: dodge, blood spatter, needles, and fog.
He is just waiting for the precise moment this predictable cycle finally ends.
As the monster enters a brief state of total confusion and becomes unable to act, Hyunmyeong realizes this is his only window to secure a victory.
The giant worm is officially a sitting duck. Fulfilling his earlier promise, he leaps through the air with zero chill. He drives his blade directly through the center of the Cheed Mamba's forehead, ending the battle and proving he is the true apex predator here. Imagine sweating your life out against a boss just for some guy to show up and take a 100% contribution score. Our boy Randolph just absolutely deleted the elite monster Cheed Mamba, and while the fog clears, he is already busy absorbing the loot. The system is not playing around today, showing a 9.1% countdown to the total collapse of the world. Amidst the chaos, he snags a mysterious item called Lucky Dice, because apparently, being a god-tier gamer requires a little bit of gambling luck too. Just as the smoke settles, a woman recognizes him from a previous rescue and tries to corner him for answers. But Randolph is not here for the fan meetings or the potential romance subplot. He has got places to be and monsters to delete. Before she can even get a word out, he hits the invisibility cloak and vanishes like my father going to buy milk. Talk about a cold exit, leaving the poor girl staring at thin air while the system confirms his stealth is basically a cheat code. She is left looking absolutely bamboozled while he slips away into the shadows. You have to love a protagonist who prioritizes efficiency over explaining himself to every NPC that crosses his path. Enter Hyunmyeong, who is pulling the ultimate Clark Kent move by reuniting with Kim Hannah and acting like he was just another scared civilian. He claims he got separated in the chaos, putting on his best innocent face while hiding the fact that he just soloed a literal nightmare.
Hannah is relieved, but she is not stupid, noticing that something is definitely off with her supposedly average friend.
Hyunmyeong is playing it cool, but the tension is thick enough to cut with a legendary sword.
Pro tip for secret heroes: maybe wash the monster blood off your nails before trying to act like a helpless civilian.
He tries to play it off as a minor accident, but the blood under his fingernails is screaming that he was busy doing something much more violent than running away.
Hannah is dropping major skepticism points because this man was way too composed while everyone else was losing their minds.
He tries to gaslight her by saying he was actually terrified, but his poker face is failing harder than a level 1 player in a high-ranked dungeon.
The suspicious vibes are reaching a breaking point as she stares him down, wondering if her friend is actually a secret monster-slaying psycho.
You can practically see the gears turning in her head while he tries to maintain his fraud civilian persona.
She realizes he showed up right after the mysterious hero disappeared, and the math is finally starting to add up.
Meanwhile, the world is moving on to a much darker tomorrow as the streets go completely silent. By the next day, the second dimension war has turned the city into a ghost town.
People are finally realizing that the boundary between reality and the game is leaking like a cheap faucet, and everyone is rightfully losing their collective minds.
The government is getting absolutely roasted in the news for trying to downplay the damage and acting like everything is under control.
Citizens are calling out their complacency, because saying there will not be another tragedy does not really work when monsters are literally eating the neighbors.
In a room full of suits, we see the elite players realizing that common sense has officially left the building. They know the government was just trying to maintain a fake sense of normalcy while the world was burning around them. Enter Park Tae-woo, the leader of the Hero Alliance, who sees this disaster as the perfect branding opportunity. He is launching his alliance now because nothing says trust me like a powerful guy in a blue shirt during a literal apocalypse. These guys are professional stalkers, reviewing CCTV footage and suspecting that our boy Randolph is actually the top-ranked player.
They are losing their minds over how a low-level player is rocking Hermes' shoes, speculating that he must be using some high-tier talismans to cheat the system. The conspiracy theories are flying as they wonder if Randolph is actually the legendary player Phantom who went MIA years ago.
They have decided that recruiting him is not just an option, it is a survival requirement if they want to stop the coming rift from ending reality. Tae-woo is looking intense, knowing that they have to bring this guy over at any cost. The stakes are rising and the shadows of the past are starting to overlap with the chaos of the present. Back in the game world, Mustache Man Hudson is having a literal meltdown because Randolph used the rare Fairy Queen's tear.
He thought he was going to get that item as a shortcut, but Randolph just used it like it was a regular health potion.
Randolph basically tells him to sit down and be humble, explaining that he destroyed the item just to kill Hudson's pointless hope. Talk about a savage move, he is literally taking away the man's shortcuts to force him to actually get good. Hudson is fuming with distrust, but Randolph just gives him that signature "I am better than you" smirk. He tells the mustache simp to follow him if he wants a real reason to trust him, leading the group into the literal sewers. Why the sewers? Because apparently, nothing builds trust like a field trip through the grimy underground of Arcana. Randolph is on a mission to wash away doubts by showing them what real danger looks like. They arrive at the Arcana sewer dungeon, and the atmosphere is as disgusting as you would imagine. Randolph is playing the long game, planning to register a waypoint while they are down there. He pulls out the epic teleport book he got from Dramit, complaining that raising exploration rates is a chore. He is basically speedrunning the city's map because they are running out of time, and the sewers are the first stop on his tour of destruction. Isabella is rightfully terrified, pointing out that this dungeon is meant for a party of 6 level 8 players, not a trio of misfits. She mentions the monster rat boss, and you can tell she is already imagining her own funeral. Randolph just hits her with a cold "I know" while the boss music starts playing. Suddenly, 2 glowing red eyes appear in the dark, and you know things are about to get extremely messy. The system sounds the alarm as the sewer's mutant monster rat spawns, looking like a nightmare fueled by toxic waste. It is a high-speed predator that usually requires a full tactical squad, but our boy is just standing there unbothered. The rat is a blur of motion, attacking with speed that would make a ninja jealous. Normally, you would need a complex formation to corner this thing, but Randolph decides that standard methods are for losers and simps. He admits they have no preparation at all, which is a wild thing to say while a giant rat is trying to bite your head off.
Hudson is losing his mind over the recklessness, but Randolph is already 5 steps ahead in the mental chess game.
Randolph starts barking orders like a drill sergeant, telling Isabella to move to the 10 o'clock position. He is betting everything on the fact that her combat proficiency is already light years ahead of any ordinary character. Isabella moves like a bolt of lightning, proving that her training was not just for show. She is tracking a beast that most players cannot even see, turning the high-speed raid into a display of pure elite skill. Randolph drops the ultimate flex, stating that speed does not matter if you already know the pattern. He is standing there looking like a boss while Isabella carries out his tactical masterclass with terrifying precision. Hudson is standing there with his jaw on the floor, watching his reality get shattered by Randolph's competence. The protagonist turns around and promises that his word is absolute, and if he says it can be done, the victory is already in the bag. He stares down the terrified mustache man, making it clear that doubting him is a waste of energy. The chapter closes with a look of pure, unadulterated confidence that says, "I am the main character, and you are just lucky to be in the frame." You know it is a bad day when the Hero Alliance is checking CCTV like their lives depend on it and coming up with zero trace of our mysterious warrior. Cian Zhang is out here scratching his head, calling this whole situation a straight-up ghost story. Remember Young Jinwoo? Yeah, the Alliance checked on him and the poor guy has completely lost it. After getting both his arms sliced off, his brain just checked out of reality. Going back to question him now is just a massive waste of time. The leadership wants to poke around and ask reporter Kim Hannah for the tea, but they are warned to back off immediately. Why? Because she is being protected by Gracia, and you do not want to mess with that man's property or his interests. Speak of the devil, Gracia makes his grand entrance in Korea looking like the ultimate main character.
With Phantom out of the picture, this guy is the undisputed strongest player in the world, and everyone is losing their minds over it.
Gracia is actually here for a direct one-on-one interview with Kim Hannah.
The Alliance members are literally whispering in the shadows, wondering if this monster of a player fell for her at first sight, or if there is something more scandalous going on.
The Hero Alliance might be a big deal to normal people, but they know the truth.
Gracia is a literal monster who could crush their entire organization like a grape if they so much as breathe in his direction the wrong way. Meanwhile, in the dark corners of reality, we meet a total psycho named Massacre. This edgy bait is out here engaging in forbidden player killing like he is playing a sandbox game with no rules.
When his victims cry about how player killing is banned in the real world by Gracia's orders, Massacre just laughs.
He thinks rules are for the weak and he is definitely not planning on following any of them.
This absolute lunatic just wants to see people suffer. He is literally telling his victims to pray for Gracia to save them while he carves them up. Talk about having zero chill and a massive god complex. After his little murder spree, Massacre's rankings get a spicy update. He officially acquires the rights to the secret auction house, which is basically a VIP pass for the most dangerous players in the game. Now Massacre has a new obsession, a player named Randolph.
He is 100% convinced that Randolph is actually the legendary Phantom in disguise, and he is not going to stop until he proves it with blood.
The stalker vibes are off the charts here. Massacre vows to wait for Randolph at a specific location, promising that our boy is going to die by his hands. This guy is the definition of a walking red flag. Back in the game world, Randolph is busy dealing with actual monsters instead of edgy players. He is out here looking lucky after a massive battle that left the ground looking like a disaster zone. Randolph manages to snag a mutant monster rat core. It is a rare material that literally causes mutations when you feed it to beasts. Most players would sell their soul for a drop like this, but for him, it is just Tuesday. The system is basically simping for him at this point, rewarding him with a hidden trait called Beast Lord. This allows him to strengthen any beast-type souls he has, which is basically a cheat code for building a monster army. Hudson is also here, and he is the ultimate loyal subordinate. He actually closed up shop at his casino just to follow Randolph. He is trading a life of luxury for a life of danger just because he trusts the star bearer that much. Hudson's real goal? He wants to marry a girl named Serengeti. He is convinced that following Randolph is the only way to make that happen. If that is not high-tier simping, I do not know what is. Even though Isabella is a total combat beast who can solo monster rats, Hudson is more impressed by Randolph's omniscient nature. The way our boy makes decisions makes it look like he has already read the script of life. Randolph leads the squad toward the Basrock forest. He explains that this is the gateway to the Tower of Spirits and the official starting point for the third main quest. Time to level up or die trying, I guess.
The forest is not your average camping spot.
It houses the spirit tree, which has the power to open a secret path to the spirit realm during dusk. It is basically a magical elevator, but way more dangerous. As they walk deeper, Randolph notices something depressing. The entire forest is literally dying. It is like the life force has been sucked out of the place, leaving everything looking gray and withered. Our boy points out that the spirit tree has been dead for a long time. No new spirits are being born, which means the forest is basically on life support and the plug is about to be pulled. Instead of mourning the tree, Randolph decides to use some aggressive motivation. He draws his sword and prepares to do something that would make an environmentalist faint. He straight up chops down the dead spirit tree.
His companions are absolutely floored, thinking he has finally lost his mind.
You do not just go around cutting down sacred entrance gates for fun. The sound of the tree falling echoes through the woods like a dinner bell for disaster. Hudson and Isabella are standing there like, did he really just do that, while waiting for the inevitable consequences? Randolph is just standing there with a smirk. He did not do it because he hates nature, he did it to force the forest guardians to stop hiding and show their faces. Talk about a loud knock on the door. Right on cue, the boss music starts. The master of Basrock Forest, a level 9 high dryad, appears and he looks absolutely livid that some human just turned his sacred tree into firewood. And he did not come alone. At least 50 level 7 dryads surround the group, aiming their bows and looking ready to turn our team into a human pincushion for their disrespect. Isabella is a real one, though. She steps up and prepares to hold off the entire horde by herself just so Randolph can escape. She is ready to go out in a blaze of glory for her boss. The High Dryad is looking down at them like they are mere insects. He cannot believe a bunch of low-level humans had the audacity to harm the spirit tree. The killing intent in the air is thick enough to cut. Randolph does not even flinch. He looks the High Dryad in the eye and offers a deal. He will bring the dying forest back to life if they just open the gate to the tower. The audacity of this man is truly unmatched. The Dryad is skeptical as hell. He points out that the Tower of Spirits is a legendary location that only a tiny handful of elite players have ever entered.
He thinks Randolph is just a delusional wretch.
The odds of entering that tower are worse than winning the lottery while being struck by lightning. You need insane talent and a mountain of completed quests just to stand a chance at the entrance.
But Randolph is not your average player.
He tells the Dryad to shut up and open the gate already. He is done talking and ready to show why he is the one the system is obsessed with. Suddenly, Randolph activates his hidden trait, Druid's Nature Affinity. A massive wave of green energy explodes from him, proving that he is not just bluffing about his connection to the forest. The Dryads are stunned into silence as the life force begins to swirl around our boy. He takes full responsibility for saving the forest, looking like a literal god of nature in the middle of a dying wasteland. Even with his low level, the sheer power of his hidden trait is undeniable.
He is breaking all the rules of the game just to get what he wants, and the forest guardians are starting to realize they messed with the wrong guy.
Randolph standing tall in a whirlwind of green light, demanding entry to the tower. He is about to walk into a place only legends go, and he is doing it with the swagger of a man who owns the whole game.